Hey guys, what's up? This is Brad with the Brofessional Development Podcast, and we're switching it up today. We're going to shoot some shit. Matt got demoted, and I'm taking over the reins of the ship.
See ya. Deuces. Good.
No, I just had some good current event stuff that I wanted to pop off with, but what do you guys got going on so far this week?
Brad's fired up about whatever he's got to talk about today, so it should be pretty good.
We're just building it up.
I feel like there's no point in you asking us that question. I think you should just jump right in with what you got.
So, or do you want to like warm up the oven with some other?
Yeah, let's warm up the oven before we take a deep dive.
Okay, so I'll hop in. Guys, we've been fucking taken. We need to trademark the name Brofessional because there's a podcast that came out called Brofessional Degenerates.
It just came out?
It came out at the end of 2021. So for sure, they found our name. There's no way, right?
I'm going to look these guys up.
Professional.
I've been trying to look them up.
And so they have a podcast?
It's a sports podcast.
Yeah, there's so many sports podcasts.
So I'm just saying, we need to trademark that.
Yeah, I do think we need to get on that. I'm actually a little offended that somebody stole our kind of crappy name.
Right.
I think we just need to just trademark anything Brofessional.
Yes.
Probably what we have
and
to
then
do
take the rights to their podcast? Is that how it works?
100%.
Okay.
We could do some sort of battle against them for the rights to the name.
Okay. That works. So, do we have any business ideas? Because I thought that was a thing we should start doing every week. Like, anybody have any business ideas?
Dan had an awesome one this morning.
Yeah, I actually really like.
I don't even know if it should be shared because I feel like you guys.
I think we'll already
do
be
it.
solid before then. So Dan shared it, and my wife and him already have
it's already in process.
30 or 40.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we need 15 more. But basically, it is flashcards aimed at parents. And dude, here's the deal. Parents will buy anything that they think is going to make them a better parent, especially with child number one. It's just what they do. But it's flashcards. And I actually do this with my kids. And I don't remember what influencer said it, whether it was Ed Milet or Jim Quick. It was somebody that was saying hey, go through the situation with the kid before the situation happens and then talk about what they would do in that situation. So that way when the situation comes up or a similar situation, they're prepared for whatever, scenario might come up. So for example, you talk about this situation. What would you do if somebody, punched you in the face, right? And how would that make you feel? How would you react? And then talk about the different ways they could handle it and how they should handle it as a parent. So that's your advice part, but you're getting them to have dialogue around a situation that could come up. And so I want to create flashcards where basically you have a grade school level, middle school level, high school level of scenarios that you might face. Like some kid butted in front of you in line. What are you going to do? Beat the shit out of him? Just fuck him up?
Take his knees out.
Exactly. So you got to teach your kids this shit, And so that was my business idea, is to create flashcards with 50 different scenarios. You could sit down with your kids and just pull one out every once in a while and be like, hey, what would you do if, you were playing with a toy and some kid came and grabbed it from you? And then how would that make you feel? What would you do in that situation? Talk about different,
scenarios.
And then you sell expanded packs whenever you come up with, all right, we've gone through all of these. Now we need more.
Just keep leveling up. So
now you fight them.
It's literally endless.
Now you fight that motherfucker.
We ran out of scenarios. Now we just start beating ass.
Every solution is fight.
So a lot more intricate than what parents used to do, maybe of, hey, don't talk to strangers, don't take candy from a stranger.
I think it's more of a
deal.
dialogue where you get to convince the kid that it's their idea to handle a situation the correct way or proper way, according to how you want to parent. Mm-hmm. But also they're prepared, because sometimes you face a situation and you're in it, and just in that instant, you're like, holy fuck, what do I do? Because my son actually, it happened just the other day. A neighborhood kid came over and they were like, he got jealous that my son was playing with a neighborhood kid, and the kid punched my son in the face.
How old's your son?
He's 8. And so in that moment, he was thinking, well, mom would be mad if I punched him back. And you know what I mean? And I'm like, no, if somebody punches you in the fucking face, you punch him back. But I wasn't there. You know what I mean? But we didn't walk through that situation. And so he took the high road, and I'm like, well, dude, everybody's going to think you're a pussy. That's it.
Is that what the flashcards are gonna say? Is like, if you don't punch the kid back in the face, you're
Yeah,
a
but I
pussy.
mean, and maybe sometimes you deserve it. But
So
you know,
Cassie is gonna be the one that's writing the stuff that's like what to do,
no,
and Dan will come up
that's
with this
that's
bad
open
scenarios.
dialogue. There is no right or wrong answer.
He has a PG-13.
I hear you. I hear
You
you.
talk through whatever the situation on the
There's a
card
lot
is.
of adults that would probably benefit from having cards like this. Like, you get cut off on the highway, I'm gonna ram that card right in the ass. Run him off the road.
So you're auditing situations before that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, boys. So
Wait.
Oh,
can I-
wait.
Just
I got
quick,
cheap shot at that.
quick business
Marty.
idea
Yeah.
while we're on the topic. So, kind of on the topic of toys, right? A line of battery-powered sex toys, aka vibrators, and we call it Good Vibes Only.
I mean, I'm always a fan. We got a
So-
whole treasure chest at our house. So.
Okay, because I feel like it could be one of those things where just like the name takes it super far.
Yeah.
The product doesn't even have to be that good. I would have to pull in some people that know. So Brad, obviously you're the connoisseur of sex toys here, at least in the podcast.
I mean, I would seem to think that I think Dan's kind of a pro with the Hitachi 3000. So
Dude,
Dan doesn't need
everybody
toys
knows
when he
about
just
the
goes.
Hitachi.
Dan rides solo 45
You
minutes
told me
straight.
you have a treasure
So
chest.
unless that's just how long the battery lasts.
unless Dan's 45 minutes includes some help from the Hitachi.
Good
Okay,
vibes only.
I don't have
love
a business plan or anything, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Just put it in.
Sex toys? Nobody's ever thought of that.
Good vibrations. Good vibes only. Good vibes only.
So you have a name of a business.
Yes.
Okay.
got to
That's
start
it.
somewhere.
Fair
Into
enough.
the theme
That's
song.
Yeah, guys.
Sometimes the name is the hardest part of starting a business.
There's a visionary.
That's where it starts
right?
sometimes.
And then there's the person that comes through with the details.
With a name.
Okay. No, I'm the visionary. I have the vision of good vibes only.
30 ideas a day.
30.
Before Brad jumps in, I looked up these fucking professionals, and he calls himself the Brofessor.
What?
Fuck, that's good.
He's already behind. So.
Bro.
So we're gonna be
Oh,
tagging
shit.
him in this
It's
shoot the
on
shit
site.
segment, right?
There's no.
It's on site.
There's no
If we see this
picture.
motherfucker,
I'm gonna message him.
We need to
From the
challenge them to
professional.
something. Meet them somewhere. Where are they from?
Yeah, we'll challenge him for the name.
Where are they from?
it's just one guy.
If it's just one
It's
guy.
the Professor.
We could, yeah. We could
Oh yeah,
take
we'd
one
fuck
guy.
him up in volleyball.
Just, I mean, yeah, you can't play with one person in
Fuck him
volleyball.
up in golf too, right, Dan?
Okay, boys.
Yeah, of course.
Let's go back.
Brad's like, I want to
So-
talk about my
All
stuff
right,
now.
all right.
Okay,
Brad.
I got to ask you,
The oven's
this is
warm.
going to be a choice for you guys. Do you want me to dive straight in on some current event deep dive stuff?
Mhm.
Or do you want me to start with something new that I think would be great for us to do every week?
Let's get on that before we get all
Okay.
hot and heavy.
So everybody here has definitely played Would You Rather, right?
Oh man.
Yeah. So
or for how many dollars?
I like where this is going already.
Okay, so a couple
Sweaty.
questions I got. None of these are too wild. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with one that's business related, totally serious.
Okay.
Would you rather work 4 days a week or work 2 months on, 1 month off?
4 days a week.
Two months.
I wouldn't want a full 2
4
months.
days a week. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say 2 months on, 1 month off.
you lose momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually with Bobby. I was 2 months on, 1 month off.
Well, you lose so much momentum.
I just feel
Michael
like
Phelps talks about this shit like for training for swimming. Every day you
This
took
is just
off,
work related.
you're 2 days behind. That's work.
I'm not swimming.
I feel the
I'll take
same
that
way.
1 month
So it's
and
like
swim.
so it's like when I do these like little 30-day on, 30-day off. It's like 30 days I'm going fucking full on, and then the other days I go full off. It just the other 30 days I lose all my progress.
When I go on
I mean, it
vacation
could be
and I come
depending on the
back,
job, though.
it's hard for me to get back that momentum.
I mean, I see both sides. The way I look at it is like it kind of plays off of like last week how I had a regret of like not traveling. I look at it as I could like bust ass for 2 months, take a month to just literally bust that, like go enjoy myself for that month. Where like same thing you're saying, if you work 4 days, now you're off 3, and that's happening every single week.
Yeah. So also this is a W2 question, right? This is like
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
right because it's like you could work 2 months, work your ass off for 2 months, and then like be overseas and still be like answering emails and whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, for
but
the
this
most
is like
Isn't Europe all
So that's
4 days a week?
all right. You got
N-
to. Are we gonna do one of these every week?
No,
Well, I actually have
in Europe.
I have
It's
another one.
required that they are in like Spain.
Well,
I know
I'm
that they have
assuming
like a
this one's-
30-day.
That one
over
was
the-
business. This
There's
one
one
is
month where they take
most
off or
likely
something like
sexual.
I'm actually keeping it away from the sex. So do you guys want one that's a little on the gray area or still like more of a deep thought?
I'm both.
I
Whichever.
say
Whichever.
Okay, so would you rather go back in time to meet your ancestors, or would you rather go forward in time to meet your great grandchildren?
Oof, that's a tough one.
I mean, if I go forward in time and meet my great grandchildren,
You might not have any.
I could. Oh, no shit. So if I go back in time,
there's no one.
I could probably provide them some insider information, like of what's going to happen with the economy.
Ooh, I like
Set the family up.
Yeah,
to
set
one
the
That's a
family
good
up.
idea.
No, I've
invest
always
in
thought
oil.
it'd be cool to live in a different, in the 40s or 20s or something like that. What decade would you guys pick?
Oh,
Shoot.
mine for sure would be like the 40s. I feel like I should have been in World War II, been like that fucking crazy maniac, fucking running
Dude.
through the fields.
I feel like I'd want to be alive in the prime time 60s. So I think I would go back in time. I don't know. I guess
But
how far you would want to go
Like
back.
the
Would you stay
music
sober, though?
festivals.
Oh no,
Yeah.
0%. I want to go to
Sober
Woodstock.
wasn't a thing back then.
I want to go to Woodstock. I want to smoke cigarettes when smoking cigarettes was good for you.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah, die with my problems.
I just thought the 80s were cool too. I mean, even though I technically lived in the 80s, I didn't get to
yeah,
grow up in
you
the
hardly
80s.
lived in the 80s.
Yeah.
I just like the fucking
Sal, what would you do?
outfits.
I would possibly go back in time just to see how, see how it is in the jungle.
Yeah, the jungle.
Just kidding, but just to
Like
relive the
Mowgli?
80s and 70s would be cool though.
Sal's going back to Adam and Eve.
Sounds like when my
this
family
bitch
was
can't get away from me.
caveman type
No.
times.
Okay, so I'll save the next one for next week. But then a more serious topic. What do you guys think about Lia Thomas wins the 500 freestyle NCAA championship? I know we're going to have people who probably feel really strongly about one way and really strongly about the other way, but I feel like this is one of the first times that it's gained, there's been a transgender female who is, or I don't even know how it classifies. Can somebody answer that?
It's
So
a
transgender
male.
female.
Okay, so it's a
She's a guy.
She's a she now.
So
It's a
she-
guy.
Transgender
somebody who was
female.
biologically
But
a
it's a guy.
male,
Right, guy that
competed
went
in
to
a
a girl.
female sport, won
It's a guy.
a national championship in NCAA. So what do you guys think the repercussions of this are moving forward?
So I'll just hop in.
Yeah, go for it.
Just looking at the background on it, it's in 2019 she was on Penn's men's team, right? And he then was mid 500s, ranked across the country,
Okay,
mid 500s.
Yeah. not very good.
All of a sudden, and here's the thing. Do what you want to do, support any type of transition that you want to make. But when it comes to that, and you're training your entire life as a man that's just biologically and genetically bigger, stronger, faster, and then you go into that, it's I'm going to err on the side of maybe I should play women's volleyball.
You got the head for a wig.
So I looked up some stats there, okay? Average women's volleyball player is 5'9". That gives Dan a shot physically, right? Skill, their skill levels are way higher than mine, but the tallest American to go to the Olympics this past year was April Ross at 6 foot tall. I'm pushing 6'3", right? So it's if I trained year round, I could probably get up there. Right?
Train and trans.
Yeah, training.
So what Matt's saying is he's going to be in the Olympics in 4 years.
Could be.
So my thoughts on it are basically, okay, it's fine. You want to have trans athletes, then create a whole new division because I mean, but then you got to look at the flip side. Are you going to let females who want to transition? I guess they can compete with men, but then you're saying that's okay, but it's not okay for the other side. And so I absolutely disagree with that person winning the women's, gold or whatever it is, national championship. I mean, that's crazy to me. And I feel really bad for the girls who train their whole life, and then this person comes in and
Leah crushes it. So first thing that I'll say on this is do whatever you want to do. I don't care if you want to be a dude, you want to have different pronouns, you want to be a chick, I don't give a fuck. But so that person was mid 500s, you were saying, right? As far as ranking in the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
Her times got worse after she transitioned to be a female and then still beat the fuck out of everyone else. So
they got worse.
So her times got worse. And I don't know what the reason is for that, but it's also like I just believe it completely unfair to those women who were born biologically female. So like I said, at the end of the day, don't care, but I think it is completely unfair to those women.
If you've competed as a male and at the NCAA D1 level, like you should continue to, that's fine, transition, but continue to compete at the men's level. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know, whatever.
So I think like in closing it up, it's like the sports aren't as big as that decision that you're making. You know what I mean? Like to literally switch your gender. So it's like, it would just be a choice, right? It's like, listen, if you do this, you can't compete. You can compete in the men's, but you can't compete in the women's. I don't know. Again, I don't make the rules. Not going to sit here and be an expert, but
I definitely think something needs to be done so that this doesn't continue to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
And somebody who spoke out pretty profoundly about it was the governor of Florida, Desantis. Yeah. And he basically said, we're not going to classify this as a win for Lia Thomas. Like we don't recognize her as the champion of that event. And speaking on him, what he actually just signed into law in Florida this week is that every high school student starting in 23-24 has to complete 1 credit hour of financial literacy classes, which I think is like probably one of the most overlooked things in our school system to date. And it's got to be a big win for him and the whole state of Florida for all the kids.
Couldn't agree more. I didn't hear that actually. Yeah. I mean, ask anybody that went to college, whether you're in college was the best thing ever for you or whether you think it's like college was a fucking joke. It's everybody wants to learn about financial literacy. It's something that you have to go through with no matter what age, race, gender, where you are on the income scale, doesn't matter.
Yeah, and this is on the high school level.
Yeah.
So it's not even into college yet. So I think it's pretty cool that happened, and we'll see how it plays out in the future, but I think it's definitely a win, and it's probably something that I think should happen on a federal level.
Yeah, I think it's super important because especially when you look at student loan debt and then I look at people that I know even that are like, oh, fuck, dude, my student loan payments or whatever. And it's sad because people don't, the whole, I guess, conveyor belt of life is go to high school, graduate, go to college, graduate. But you're not taking into consideration the amount of debt you're taking on. Because at 18, you don't fucking think of that shit. You're just like, I'm just doing the next thing I'm supposed to do. And so you take this crazy amount of debt and, nobody thinks about the long-term consequences. And now people are delaying having children because of financial literacy. And people are not buying homes because of, lack of financial literacy at a younger age. And so I think that this is super important shit. Plus, it's not just savings and retirement and all that. It's understanding I think if you educated people on the debt that they're going to take out and what that does to you long term, that's more important than any like fucking retirement savings education.
Yeah, and what's interesting about it too is how come these kids can go and take on a student loan debt of however much basically. They're like it's unlimited. But say there's a 19-year-old kid who comes out of high school and he's like, you know what, I don't want to go to college. But I want to start a business and I'd like to get $50,000 to start up my business. He's going to get denied right away, like instantly. But these kids who take on this debt of college, automatically, you are totally, here's your money, go to college, go do it. Because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And I find it really interesting because that's just like everybody conforming to society. And society is saying, hey, it's okay. Conform. Here's the money to conform. Here's the money to become the sheep or whatever the fuck that gets in line and just does what everybody else does. So I do find that interesting.
Cool.
Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I have lots of stuff. I don't know how deep you want to go. We got time for one more?
We actually got plenty of time. So we can go up to 30 and 30. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we've got this we got another 10 minutes on this one.
Yeah.
So boys, obviously big news. Everybody sees it. Russia, Ukraine. We're on like week 3, I think. Okay. They're asking for a no-fly zone, which seems like, oh, this is, a happy little medium, a no-fly zone. But what a no-fly zone means to the world is World War III. That means any plane that's flying over, NATO can shoot down. So if Biden signs that, says, okay, we agree to a no-fly zone, welcome to World War III. But what I found more interesting is all these sanctions that are happening. Okay, like we're no longer doing business with Russia, essentially, right? Well, what's going to happen is Russia and Ukraine supply 15% of the wheat to the whole entire world. So wheat obviously is one of the biggest sources of carbohydrates. So they're saying that if Russia and Ukraine doesn't start planting their wheat in the next week or two, there could be up to 100 million people that starve just based on supply chain issues with food. So I found that to be super interesting. And on a local level, not local, but national level to the United States, the amount of fertilizer that's produced by Russia is going to raise the price of fertilizer in America from $500 a ton to $2,500 a ton. So that means literally your grocery bill is going to go through the roof for anything in America because these farmers are either going to have to, one, not plant because they can't afford to fertilize it, or they're going to plant it and now you have to pay 5x for whatever you're going to get in return. But who would have, did you know that there's only a 90-day supply of food in the entire world?
Did not know that.
So if they quit producing food, which obviously this is not going to happen, but if food production stopped in 90 days, we would be completely out of it. So,
Damn.
That's a lot of info to
It's a
take in
lot
right
of info,
there.
a lot of stats. So
Things I did not know.
yeah. So I don't know.
I mean,
If
everything we could say at this point is speculative.
yeah,
Right.
and that's also that's what's also the most interesting part about it all is the speculation is what's driving the markets to be so volatile right now because we don't know what's going to happen. But if you notice, the days that the market takes an uptick is when there's a thought of good news. Not that there's even good news, just the thought of something good could happen. Like, oh, we're going to sign a peace treaty. Boom, the stock market starts going up. Oh no, it looks like things are going backwards. Stock market goes back down. So honestly, this war, I think, on a level, like, look at us, we're all in our 30s, we all own our own business. We're almost not aware of what's going on, really, because we don't really know.
I'm not. Like, I don't know how any of that shit works. None.
I don't either, and that's one of the things where I'm like, man, I wish I could contribute something to this. But like, those are like, I don't look at the stuff that's going on with the government. Maybe that's a problem, and I can take ownership of that. But like, I wouldn't even think that would be something that would cause World War III as far as the no-fly zone because I'm not educated on that kind of stuff. And I think, like you said, like Brad, you did the research on this. Like, I'm just over here doing my fucking thing and trying to keep the wheels turning in my business and trying to keep my shit going and thinking about my morning routines, right?
Yeah. And I think that's what's so interesting in the world is it's a really important thing for all of our businesses moving forward, how this all plays out, because say something does happen where, the three big players in the world economy right now are Russia, China, and the United States. So if it comes to a deal where Russia and the United States become in a war due to a NATO alliance, China's like sitting over there like saying, fuck yeah. So like we want to try and avoid that as much as possible. If that does happen, we're for sure going to go into a recession. We're already slowing down. And to me, that's something that's interesting with a lot of these debt that people have brought on is it's curious if we do hit a deep hole, how will that play out?
Well, I've been thinking about this, like, because I think it's a really interesting situation where, inflation is super high. Interest rates are now going up. But then you look at the stock market and it's held pretty well. I mean, it's down
Overall, yeah.
but it's held pretty well. It's not like it's like just fucking tanking. Oh my God, fuck. Matt. Seriously?
My man.
Oh my God. But I wonder what's going to happen with jobs. And so I've been doing a lot of research on jobs, and it's still, no matter, it just seems like there's going to be this ongoing problem of labor shortage. And even if there is a recession with inflation, people got to make a certain amount of money. Yeah. And then, the people that are willing to work are going to, you know what I mean? So it seems like that's like the shoe that's not dropping, it seems like, are jobs, even though everything else could fall. And maybe it does. I'm trying to find, and maybe but I'm trying to find a reason why they would fall at this point, just to project for my business, really. And then I had sent you that thing today that they're considering that's going to help you probably with prices.
Yeah, it should help, but I always, like, whenever you see something that seems positive, there's got to be something behind it. So like what Dan's talking about is basically Biden signed into a bill that, said we're going to get rid of the tariffs on any steel and aluminum. So obviously that's a good deal, but I think there's something going back the other way to the European Union that we're giving up too. So I just don't know what that is. I didn't read into the article far enough to see, but there's always a give and take. But now to take a little transition to something that maybe Sal can talk on, what about Tyreek Hill signing with the Dolphins?
Yeah, so Tyreek, the Chiefs couldn't figure out a contract extension with the Tyreek Hill and his agent. So the agent seeked out a traded him to the Dolphins for 5 draft picks, 3 of them for this year, 2 more. And then Dolphins signed Tyreek Hill to a contract extension, 4 years, $140 million. And
120.
120, and then $72.2 million guaranteed.
Wow, you even fuck up your own stats, Sal. That came off meaner than it.
Brad just came really
I'm sorry.
Brad just came really prepared.
This is a safe space, Sal.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry,
fine,
Sal.
It's okay.
I didn't mean that.
But
You're
yeah,
doing
now
great.
Dolphins has the fastest wide receiver duo with him and Jalen Waddle.
Do you see so they did a side-by-side. I saw this on Twitter today after you guys mentioned that, and I looked up Twitter on Tyreek Hill, and they did a side-by-side of how fast Tyreek Hill ran the
40
500 meter or something like that in high school, and he was, in the 2016 Olympics, he would have finished 4th based off of what he did in high school. So
That's crazy.
Not sure what he would do nowadays, but yeah, that dude is straight up fast as fuck.
Yeah, so... Someone else. All right, hold on.
You got some other sports news?
Yeah.
Or what's this? You looking up?
Yeah, so and then other news, we got Conor McGregor got arrested for reckless driving.
Was he drunk?
Don't
Or
think
just
so.
reckless?
He's
He's
probably
just
just pissed
flying.
off.
He got
Yeah,
maybe it was
they seized his
reduced to
Bentley,
reckless.
and
Fuck
then
it.
Fukum.
What is that? What's his whiskey? Like 10 point, 12
Proper.
point? Proper. Yeah. I
Fuck
don't
these
know what the
roads.
hell I was
he
just
sold
saying.
it though.
He sold it.
He sold the whiskey.
So is he? What happened to him then? What's going on with Conor McGregor? He just got arrested.
Yeah, for reckless driving. They seized his
That was it?
Bentley.
Seized his Bentley. He's probably only got like 4 of those.
And
I
then
think
Brittany Griner, the WNBA player, she's still being detained
No
in
relation.
Russia till May 16th.
No relation.
Yeah, and that was for, didn't she just literally,
No
she had like a
relation.
vape pen or something, right?
Yeah,
And
there
that's
was
what
just
she's
like a
arrested
couple of
for.
cartridges that may have had weed in it, and they seized it. She could face up to 10 years in prison for that.
And she's in Russia,
Wait,
right?
she could be there for 10 years?
She could be facing jail time for 10 years
For
for
wh-
having the vape
what-
cartridges.
What? Holy shit.
But she's doing
I
well.
love the.
This
no
is why I don't go to
relation.
other countries, because you don't know what rules you're breaking. And when you break them, you could be royally fucked and not even realize.
You can't even speak the language. How do you know if they're even telling the truth?
Dude, I did not like going on the country.
McGregor passed the drug and alcohol test. He was driving to the gym and he was just fucking flying, I guess.
He was
Nice.
pumped up.
Yeah.
too much
Had some
pre-workout.
workouts.
Pre-workout was
driving like
fucking
this.
pumping.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was feeling itchy.
Okay, guys. Well, I think that probably wraps up this week's Shoot the Shit. Thanks for coming by.
See you later.
See ya.